Cardinals for their first defeat of the season. So, Shannon, will Matthew Stafford and the Rams bounce back in a win in Seattle?
He will. Yes. I think the Rams are a serious Super Bowl contender. They're one of the three best teams right now in the NFC. I still believe that, Skip. They had a bad game against Arizona. There's no question about that. Throws that Matthew Stafford had made in every game up until that point, he missed damn near every throw that he had an opportunity for Cooper Kupp. You talk about some missed throws. He missed a bunch of them. He had D-Jack early in the ball game that what should have been a 85-yard touchdown, and he underthrew him, and it ended up getting picked. He missed Cooper Kupp. Throw after throw after throw after throw. But that's neither here nor there. Now it's a short week going against another division rival, and so he knows what's at stake. I just believe that he's going to play a lot better, and the throws that he missed on Sunday, he will not miss those throws. I expect it to be a shootout because, and I've told you this, Skip, I think the Rams' defense last year were better than they are this year. Those two guys that they ended up losing going to Cleveland, you look at the back end, they're picking on him. A.J. Green, everybody, that's where people are making their money. That's where they're bailing their hay at, is on his side of the field. Jalen Ramsey can't be in two places at one time. If he takes the best receiver, if he takes DK Metcalf, somebody's going to have to do something with Tyler Lockett. If he takes D-Hop, somebody's going to have to do with A.J. Green and Rondale Moore and the Christian Kirk. So he can't be all over the field. And so that's the problem that they're running into. They lost a corner and they lost a slot corner, which is coming back to hurt them. But I still believe that they'll get into a shootout. I believe it's going to be a shootout tonight, Skip. I'm hoping. I hadn't looked at the weather report. I don't think it's going to be inclement weather or anything, because you never know what you're going to get in Seattle, Skip. It might be sunny, and then next thing you know, you get mist in and you get rain, you get all that other stuff, and then all bets are off. But I expect them. Seattle has a last in total defense, 28th in pass D, and I think the Rams have one of the better passing attacks, and Sean McVay is going to bounce back, he and Matthew Stafford. So I'm expecting big things tonight, and they'll be right back on track.
So it's blowout, Rams blowout?
You put some dew on it, and I tell you.
Really?
Put some dew on it, and I tell you what it's going to be.
I'll take the points right now.
No, you ain't taking nothing. What you're going to do is take the 2 Ks of dew I got for you, Rams and Seattle, straight up.
You just made a case that this is a steamroll.
No, Skip, I just said it's going to be a shootout.
Oh.
It's going to be a shootout.
Well, you just said they're going to win easily, though.
No, I didn't say they're going to be. I don't remember saying that, and I know I didn't say that. I said it's going to be.
You were making the case they're going to win this season.
No. I made a case that the Rams are going to win because I expect Matthew Stafford to play better than what he played on Sunday. But both teams' defense lately has been leaving a lot to be desired. Seattle's defense has been shaky all year long. At least the Rams have played some pretty good defense up until the last couple of weeks. I expect them to bounce back. I expect them to put pressure on Russell Wilson, and I expect them to win.
Well, the Rams have played pretty good defense until the last couple of weeks. We've only had 4 weeks, so they played 2 good weeks.
How many is a couple? So is a couple, is that 4 people?
Shannon Sharp, I'm going to ask you the question of the moment, maybe the biggest question in the NFC.
What?
Are you sure Matthew Stafford is that guy? Because I'm not convinced.
He's that guy that beat the brakes off Tom Brady. He might not be the guy, but he was that guy.
Right place, right time. Played your Super Bowl that day.
Hey, wasn't no Super Bowl.
Still underthrew D-Jack twice in that game.
Yes.
Finally hit him with a big one where the defense completely broke down. Mike Edwards bit and fell. He actually fell down. So Coach McVay could run all the way up the tunnel. We got this. We just won the Super Bowl. You played your Super Bowl. You won it. I give you credit for that. But unfortunately, it's not really the Super Bowl because it was only week 3.
That's how we approached it.
So I'm going to bring this up again, and we'll see a lot more tonight on the big solo stage on Thursday Night Football at Seattle. Tough place to play. Matthew knows it's a tough place to play. He's been in the playoff games 3 times in his career, and he lost to the 3rd playoff game up there 26-6. Had a QBR of 44, not very good. Threw for 205 yards.
Well, you remember that
2016.
What was a Thursday night and Monday night game? They were going in for the win, and Cam Chancellor hit Megatron, and Megatron ended up fumbling the ball.
Okay. So he knows what it feels like. He's been there and done all that. So let's see what happens now that he and Coach McVay are on the solo stage on Thursday night.
That's what he should be.
And I remind you that the Rams went up there in the playoffs first round last year in the wild card, and guess who won the game? Jared Goff got thrown into the fire because that Walford kid who started the game got hurt, and Jared Goff had a pin in his throwing thumb and said, I got this, and didn't put up great numbers, but he put up better numbers than Russell Wilson did, and they won that game, which allowed them to advance to Lambeau, right? Okay, so you got that to shoot for. Can Matt Stafford go up there and win the way Jared Goff sucked it up and won?
But, Skip, you know, every game is a different game. Every year is different. You can't look back and say, well, they went there last year and won, so therefore they should automatically go back there this year and win. Football doesn't work like that.
Okay. I'm going to ask you again.
Yes.
Is he really that guy? Is he a Super Bowl caliber quarterback?
I believe he is.
I love Matthew Stafford. I've been around him enough off the field to know he's a really good guy. We belong to the same golf club, so I'm being like painfully objective here.
No, you ain't.
I'm just not sure he was ever that guy, because in Detroit, they had some talent. He had the best receiver in pro football for 7 of his 9 years, and they went 74, 90, and 1. 90 losses, 74 wins, 90 losses, 1 tie.
You like the coach? You like the coaches that he had?
I agree. It could
Other than Jim Caldwell.
That worked.
They fired the best coach they had in the last 20 years.
All right. 3 times he made the playoffs. He went 0-3 in those playoff games. You can argue he got robbed in Dallas, and it was a terrible call or non-call, a pulled call.
Yeah.
And he played pretty well in that game, but he had a QBR of 40 in that game at Dallas, just a little below average scale, 0 to 100. So you say I haven't been using QBR. I'm using it there.
Yeah, they showed that Matthew Stafford didn't play particularly well. I want you to use
below
Tom Brady.
Below average. So I ask you again, are you sure he's a godsend for the team that you're now driving the bandwagon of, because you're worried that my Dallas Cowboys are going to rise to the top of the NFC? So you got to have somebody to hang your hat on, and the somebody so far has been the Rams, until I told you, no, Kyler's going to go in there and win this game, and he did. So now, all of a sudden, the Rams are reeling. Now they've been exposed because their defense isn't as good as it was last year, because it can't be. When you take Troy Hill, one of the best slot corners, out, and John Johnson, one of the best safeties, out, and you give them to Cleveland, or you let them go to Cleveland.
Right.
You're going to have some problems.
Right.
So they're going to have some problems. They have the great Aaron Donald. I get that. Their front 7 is very good. You could argue their front 7 might be the best in pro football. But can they go up there and beat a Russell Wilson who finally found himself at San Francisco, and they found the way to the end zone? They went 4 for 4 in the red zone last week. And it was because Russell Wilson started playing his basic backyard football.
Yeah.
Nobody can play
his
backyard.
improv is unbelievable.
It's the best. He just draws it up in the dirt, or maybe in the recesses of his own psyche. He's just sort of making it up as he goes.
Well, they forced him to do that with putting behind that bad offensive line. So he's like, I got to be able to do this in order for me to survive.
Receivers that can hurt you.
Oh, yeah, Metcalf and
I believe there will be some damage done by those 2 receivers tonight. And they can run it pretty well. They got their 105.
But I think Carson is banged. I think Carson is banged up.
Okay, I think they still have enough weapons to win this game. So I am picking the Seahawks.
Well, good. So we got 2 cases on it.
So we've got 2.5 points given to the home team because they are a 2.5 point underdog. So I will take the 2.5 points for 2 cases.
I'll tell you what. Okay, this is what we'll do. Are you going to give me the 7.5 for the Giants on tomorrow?
No, I'm not.
Oh, well, okay then. Well, I'm not going to give you no 2.5 tonight.
I already told you the Giants it's a division rivalry that you got to be careful. I know, I got it. But the Giants really found themselves. We're going to talk about this in a little bit. I still fear the Giants. You have ridiculed the Giants in Joe Judge.
And rightfully so.
Okay, well, now you're not ridiculing, so I am not going to do that. I'm not going to give you the points because I think it'll be a close game Sunday, but I think the Dallas Cowboys will win. I'll take it straight up.
Let me get this straight. You want me to go straight up with you, the Cowboys at home?
I got it.